just so you know, this is not a tattoo. I wrote down my set on the way here. My wife was driving, so it was safe. No safety-conscious people, don't worry. But so we're just going to kind of go through here. I think some of you, oh, there's like a spotlight. Hang on. Okay, we'll go over here. I think some of you are maybe kind of wondering it, so I'll just go ahead and I'll clear the air, and I'll just tell you that I have gained a few pounds, but I'm working on my dad bod. But hang on, don't judge. I feel it. I'm working on my dad bod, but my wife is pregnant, so cheers for pregnant wives. Yeah. So my point is, it's justified, so just like take your judgment back. But the thing is, here's the thing. I'm working on my dad bod, but my mom is Asian, okay? And I am half Asian, but if you have an Asian mom, and just based on the first few rows, I'm thinking most of you maybe don't have an Asian mom. It's hard to tell, there's a lot of shadows. I don't know if you're tan or if you're just, I don't know, you could be dark either way. The point is, my mom, okay, all right. My mom is, she has this thing that I think some Asian moms have. I have a sample size of 1, and she is brutally honest, okay? All right, if we got someone, dude, I paid her extra. Okay. Every comedy show, you need one, like, lady to just lose it for, like, each person, and that's mine, okay? Okay, so, but don't interrupt, please. My mom is brutally honest, and I don't know if it's an Asian thing. My dad's like, I think your whole family's like that. Anyway, a couple years ago, so I got married last year. A couple years ago, not married yet, okay? That's the math that I'm able to do, okay? And I was wearing a shirt. Apparently it was tighter than some of my maybe other shirts, okay? And my mom, she came in the basement, and I don't know if I had poor posture or what that day, but she was like, hey, and first of all, before I tell what she said to me, I want to say something. My bishop a long time ago told me, what's the point of telling a story if you can't improve upon it? And so, that's just a good way of saying, don't believe everything you hear from a mic. But this is what my mom said. This is a fact, don't worry. She was like, hey, it's a tight shirt. You look like you have a dad bod, but you didn't earn it. And I was like, oh, that, and it was really funny, but it was, that's cutthroat. You heard them, they know. I was like, oh, okay. And then we recovered, you know what I mean? I'm putting that on Instagram right now. And so you could probably find it. I don't know what it actually said, but it was something like that. The point is, she was very, very honest. And so I learned in my early 20s that you can't care about what people think, because Asian mom or not, people will be honest with you. And the reason, my wife and I, we got married last year, and she's due in August, right? It's very exciting. But when we found out, right, when I found out my wife was pregnant, I was like, oh, shoot, people are going to judge us, but we don't care, right? We've had a brutally honest Asian mom. That's a separate thing. All right, look, jokes all day, dude. I'll be here all week. Okay, all right, okay. The point is, I was just like, it doesn't matter. People think they're going to judge us. It doesn't matter what people think. And the reason I knew people were going to judge us is because the first, I don't know, it was sort of public knowledge, but not everyone knew. And so I went to work one day, and my coworker, I would say friend, but I was like, I'm kind of hesitant to call him that. I think he lost the title for a second. We'll see. He was like, hey, do you and your wife have a timeline for kids? And I said, yeah, August 25th, my wife is pregnant. And he was like, oh, cool, but didn't you just get married? That's kind of fast, don't you think? And I was like, all right, well, can't change it now, so thanks for your support. I was like, cool. And then he's like, okay, well, whatever. We're talking a bit, and he's got a couple kids. And I was like, well, so my wife and I, we're in our 30s now. And he's like, 30? That's kind of late to start, don't you think? I'm like, all right, well, can't change that now. Thanks for your support. And so basically I was just like, all right, dude, doesn't matter what they think, too fast, too slow, nobody cares. We're doing our own thing. And we're very excited. It's baby number 1. It's very exciting. And so one of the things that happens when you are thinking about young new life is I think about what will it be like for my kid versus when I was a kid, right? And so, because the thing is, I've noticed a little bit, right? And there are probably going to be some dad jokes preparing, body and mind. We're just all the way ready for August coming up. But the point is, I was ready to, or something I think about, right, is I'm getting a little bit bigger and older, right? And when you're 10, bigger and older, you're like, oh, you're so big, you're getting older. That's you just hear all the time, and you're used to it. When you're 30, it's a lot less cute. And it's like you get on the scale, and you're like, all right, not putting that up today, okay. The point is, that's a lot of points, guys. Here we go. I keep saying that. I'm just like real nervous, and I haven't looked at my hand in a minute, and I think we've said a lot of jokes, so that's okay. I think we just put it away. Just, what I'm, like this is like a Nate Bargatze. He just like kind of walks around like this. So they don't have like anyway. I think I've been talking for 6 minutes. Does that sound accurate? Cool, okay. 7, oh man, it just flies, you guys. Time flies when you get older. I think that's a fact as well. Okay, but so here's the thing. So I feel like I'm old, right? But the thing is, I'm not like that old. I think there are probably people in this room that are older than me. I don't know. I mean, Kurt's got a white beard. It's hard to tell if he's older though. He's young at heart. He's like a rock star. Anyway, the thing is, so I'm getting older, but I'm not like old yet. And I also don't feel young. And there's like kids doing things and they're saying words. I'm like, I don't know that that's a real word. Apparently it's on TikTok or something. I don't know what that means either. But the point is, it's like when you get older, things sort of change for you, right? And I noticed that like, okay, people in here, I'm seeing some faces. Everyone in the front 3 rows, they're young, and I can tell that. I'm not sure if they're older than me or not. There's a couple that I don't know. Where are we at? But anyway, I think some of you maybe are old enough, like maybe you had like a Nokia 3000 indestructible thing, whereas some of you just like know the memes, right? You might have had that phone. And then some of you were born in the 2000s and don't remember dial-up. And then some of us were born in the 1000s. So all those centuries ago. The 1000s, and when I drove to college in 2013, I drove in a manual transmission with no GPS. Thank you. No, I'm just kidding. That's good. Yeah. Some of you don't know what a manual transmission is. That's the one where it's got 3 pedals and a gear shift. It's a whole nother ballgame. Pretty advanced. It's really gone downhill since then. Driving ed or whatever. Okay. So I had some other jokes, and I'm gonna just peruse my hand for a second. Okay. The thing is, as I've gotten older, like the things that matter or that enhance my life change, right? Like when I'm a kid, I'm like, ooh, name brand shoes, I'm cool. And now I'm like, hey, there's a sale at Costco, here's my executive visa, give me them all, you know what I mean? $5, they're out of season, ta-da, like, you might have the same ones at home. You also have gotten older, okay. So this is what it is. But so things kind of change as you get older, and I'm trying to read, okay. We'll get there. I think I'm just going to keep talking until you cut me off so you know what it's like. Also, I forgot we got a lot of time. We're fine. It's fine. Okay. We'll just jump to something different now for a second, but it does have to do with being old. In December, okay, I got a CPAP. And as my friend Hannah, who is laughing in the back, will tell you, that makes you very old. She's like 20, and she's like, you're so old, dude. I'm like, all right, I mean, other people need sleep. Okay. But that makes me feel very old, and which is if you're going to get a CPAP, like, get married fast so you don't have to, like, surprise it out, like, spring it on them. You're like, oh, we're in this together. Maybe we just are both going to, okay. Instead of, it's like, apparently, according to Hannah's laugh, it's much harder to date while you are using a CPAP, apparently. I don't know. I never did it. But anyway, I have a CPAP. And the thing is, we had a friend over literally yesterday. I rewrote my set last night because my friend was over. It's my wife's college roommate. And they were talking a little bit, and she's doing a sleep study. And I was like, oh, I did like the first half of a sleep study, and they said I had sleep apnea, and that was the end of the, that was the end of the investigation, right? And I was like, all right, well, I feel like we should maybe just see it through. But I got a CPAP, and it does help with the quality of sleep, but I wake up a lot throughout the night. And so we're telling her about it, and she's like, how is the CPAP? I'm like, well, it's actually usually basically silent, except in the middle of the night sometimes, it will get like a skew, and it will break the seal, and then it goes from no noise to just like the most noise. And it sounds like if like you're on a spaceship, and like the docking bay doors are opening, you're like, it's like no longer pressurized, like you're like, we're about to get sucked into outer space, dude. Like you're like in the dead of sleep, and you're just like, oh my gosh, it's all happening now. And so anyway, so I will wake up in the middle of the night with my mask crooked, and I will fix it. And then as of last night, I have learned a truth that I did not know until last night, okay? And my wife is here, but she doesn't want anyone to look at her, so I'm gonna look down for a second, okay? But she was telling our friend, she was like, yeah, sometimes he wakes up. Other times, I wake up first. And I have to nudge him, and then he wakes up and fixes it. And I said, I did not know that she woke up and nudged me. I just assumed that I had woken up of my own accord to fix my CPAP. So not only is sleep apnea ruining my life, it's ruining the life of my whole family, all 2 of us. It's ruining it, you guys. Because she's waking up and having to kick me, and I'm like, oh, how'd you sleep? I think you just slept like a baby. You didn't even notice. And I was like, actually, she did notice 3 times, and she kicked me every time, and I did not know. So that's why you get married, so your spouse can kick you. So you can fix your CPAP so you don't die in your sleep or something. I don't know. I don't know what it does, really. It's like anyway, that's a half lie. It's okay. It's too much science. We don't have enough time, you guys. You got like 3 minutes left. It's fine. Yeah, is that right? 4. You guys, we'll talk. All right, science it is. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, but so that's like, now we're getting to the other jokes about being old, okay? Is, all right, let me have it. I got bad teeth, CPAP, let me have it. Just kidding. So one thing that happens is, I have a job, which is cool. This is not my main thing, which is good. But I have a job, and one of the things that happens when you're young and you have a job is then you have money and no responsibility, and so you can travel a lot. And so when I was single, I would just like 1 year, I just went to Seattle because I could, and it wasn't like beholden to anyone. So I just was like, I got a few days off, I guess I'll fly to Seattle. And so I flew to Seattle, no big deal. Not really the story I'm telling. The point is, this couple weeks ago, like beginning of this month, I was on a flight, and I flew a couple years ago, and it was just nothing crazy, just a normal flight. It was actually like coming out of the pandemic, everyone was wearing masks, right? And now I'm on a flight, and at the end of the flight, we're starting to descend, and it's like a small, kind of shaky flight. I don't know if it's turbulence or the world's ending. It feels a little rough, and I was like, hey, I don't feel so good. And I start getting like the cold sweats, I'm like looking a little pale. My wife's like, hey, you okay? I'm like, I think I might need a puke like right now. And so I like, it's the seatbelt lights are on. I'm like, this is it's a guideline. They don't care. It's not like they don't take it seriously. And I stood up, and they took it very seriously. And I think these 2 ladies were ready to tackle me, and I pointed to the bathroom, and it just started like, I was like, I'm going here with or without you. Like, it's gonna happen. It's worse for you. It's gonna be your funeral. It'll be worse for you. And the reason it would be worse for them is because I did puke, and it was just so much strawberry milk. And the thing is, like, I don't want to tell you, yeah, now you know how I feel. Thank you. Thank you for laughing at I liked strawberry milk as a kid. I like it less now, I'll be honest. But 2 weeks ago, I liked it, so I tried it. I won't describe in detail what my half-digested lunch looked like, mixed with just the most pink strawberry milk. The point is, it was like, it wasn't fun. So I go in the bathroom, right, and they're like, okay, but just don't come out. We'll let you know when it's safe. I was like, all right, where am I gonna go? And so anyway, so I'm like braced against, my feet are on like the wall and my back, and then I'm just leaning over the toilet, and just when I had nothing left to lose out of my guts, right, just puking, I did feel a little bit better, and then you flush it, and then I was like, wait, am I dreaming? Did my CPAP just come off? And it did not. It was a very real nightmare, and I was awake, and it sucked, and I felt very dizzy. But so that's how it goes sometimes. And so that story, I think I'm close on time, but that story is, that's sort of like the most famous story in my life right now. And so I'm telling it to you all right now to beat my wife to the punch, because she tells everyone we know. It's like, hey, Ellen got vertigo on the airplane. It was hilarious. And I asked her about it, and she's like, well, I didn't laugh right when you were puking. I waited until after. I'm like, what a guy. Oh yeah, here we go. Waited till after and then laughed. And we have laughed about it every day since. That's my time. Thank you so much. Cheers. Okay.